There have been plenty of times, generally outside airports somewhere, because you can be sure that the plane is going to take off just as you're trying to start speaking.
All right, let's move on because consumer advocates have welcomed the news that the federal government is introducing legislation to force all buy now, pay later providers to hold a credit licence. Joining us now on the couch is the Chief Executive of the Consumer Action Law Centre, Stephanie Tonkin. Stephanie, good morning.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So first of all, can you just explain why you see buy now, pay later as a problem in Australia at the moment?
Well, more than half of the people presenting to financial counsellors across Australia are presenting with buy now, pay later debts. So people in financial difficulty, many of them, have buy now, pay later debts. And we're not seeing just one account, we're seeing multiple accounts with one provider and multiple accounts across providers. And we're seeing people using this credit to afford essentials. It's no longer for discretionary spending. It's really for your energy, your food, your petrol, medicine.
And what's been the process for people being able to participate in buy now, pay later?
I think it's so widespread because there is little friction and few checks and balances apart from age identification. But now that's going to change with what's proposed, which we're really, really warmly welcoming.
So you're welcoming the change. This regulation says it's going to have a scalable approach to lending. I don't know what that means, but I imagine that someone who gets a $1,000 loan that might be very affordable for some people, but someone else might get the same thing and find that extremely difficult to repay if they have multiple other debts. So is this actually going to help people from getting into a debt spiral?
Yeah, I think that's one of the challenges. So the scalable obligations means for lower amounts of money, really under $2,000, there's a presumption that that's safe and suitable.
Right.
And as you scale up, because buy now, pay later isn't just the $500, the $1,000 accounts. We see buy now, pay later up to $30,000 for, say, solar panels. So as you scale up in terms of size, then you scale up in terms of obligations. But your point is right. The people we see generally are using smaller amounts of money, multiples of those accounts, and falling into debt spirals because they're having payments taken out day in, day out, and you start to lose control. You can understand why the word spiral's used, because you lose control of when money's coming in and out of your account.
Have you got any idea the percentage of people who participate in buy now, pay later who do get into trouble?
Yeah, I think we're seeing it a lot in people. We're seeing a lot of trouble encountered in people who are right down the pointy end of financial difficulty. So in bankruptcy, we're seeing a lot of people with multiple buy now, pay later accounts. So certainly when people are falling into difficulty, we're seeing a large proportion with a lot of accounts.
So will these changes do enough, or were you hoping they might go further, or what's the thought?
Look, there are some really good things, and this is why we welcome the changes. So holding a credit licence, there are licensee obligations. There's a requirement to be a part of the Financial Ombudsman and have effective dispute resolution, some VCAPs as well. So really good stuff. But in terms of the checks and the presumption, we think it doesn't go far enough. And those harms that we see with people who are experiencing vulnerability and financial difficulty, we're not sure that these rules and changes will really go far enough to protect the most vulnerable cohorts.
I just wanted to ask one question about New Zealand, because that's going to be the first jurisdiction, I think, in the world to actually regulate this fairly new type of finance. And Afterpay, a big buy now, pay later lender, indicated it preferred the regulatory tests across the ditch in New Zealand. So why they weren't strong enough for you, right?
That's right. So what's being proposed in New Zealand is a lighter touch again. So we're welcoming what we have here. We await the regulation, which is coming a little bit later, which will have a bit more detail about exactly the nature of some of the tests. But overall, it's a good day.
A step in the right direction.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, Stephanie, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks.
One of the country's best-known cruise line brands, P&O, will soon set sail for the final time. Parent company Carnival Cruise Line will rebrand two ships